Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, and joining me as usual on a Monday is Jason Cameron. Hey, Jason, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm off kind of for today, so
Nice.
that's why we're able to do this a little bit earlier, and it's kind of nice.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're getting 8 hours paid today for sitting here doing a podcast. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love being off on Mondays, starting to really break down the whole weekend of sports. Usually you and I do this later at night, but it's kind of a treat being able to do it early afternoon here, and we can get on a lot of stories. I want to right away get into some breaking news that I'm super, super excited to tell our viewers, and you probably haven't even heard. Matt Lafleur was fired today for one of the worst coaching moves in history by taking the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands, not going for it on fourth down, kicking the field goal, giving it back to Brady, and losing the game for Green Bay. They just said, "See you later, Matt Lafleur. We don't want you anymore." I can see Eric Bieniemy stepping into that seat, and woo, we're going. I'm pumped. I was so pumped. I was so angry about that move, and they acted real quick.
Wasn't he coach of the year or something, or like wasn't he in the conversation? What? I know. Okay, this is what I'm gonna say. After the whole regular season, they always went for fourth downs. I thought they were one of the teams that went for it the most.
Yeah.
It was a little bit like this, head scratching, where I went, that's odd. I don't know why he did that.
It wasn't head scratching for me. I was screaming at him, screaming at the TV. I almost broke my TV, and I'm not even a Packers fan.
I can understand that. I can understand that. I looked at it and I was like, okay, so let me get this straight. You're gonna give the ball back to Tom Brady. Tom Brady, who's a legend, who's actually more than a legend. He's now like a myth. It's almost like he shouldn't exist. You're gonna give the ball back to that guy.
To the GOAT.
You're
giving it back to the GOAT. And
yeah.
And you're trying to say that he's not going to get one first down?
Apparently, he said, our defense has got this. You guys have only been, torched slightly, a little bit, a lot. But they did get some turnovers. They did make Tom Brady turn over the ball. Yeah. It was there. But at the end of the day, the game's on the line. Who else would you want with the ball in your hands, game on the line? Well, you want Tom Brady with the ball in his hands, game on the line. Yeah. Just like you would want Aaron Rodgers to try to get you a fourth down. But I don't know, man. I don't know if he had cold feet or something. I don't know what he was thinking.
So they did an immediate poll after the game. For the Green Bay Packers, they are the only large professional team that are community owned. They're the only team that doesn't have an owner, a big figurehead, a big guy that's got tons of money and he's eccentric and he makes all these crazy moves. No, they got 360,760 owners. That's how many people have the same amount of stock in the Green Bay Packers. So they did a poll, and 360,754 voted to fire Lafleur. And the only people that didn't were a couple of, I think, of his family members or something. And then they did another poll right after. They just decided, okay, let's pull these people. Let's see what we can do next. So they asked them who they should hire for head coach. And overwhelmingly, 350,000 said Aaron Rodgers. So maybe Aaron Rodgers is the new coach of the Green Bay Packers. They're going to do away with the coach. Aaron Rodgers can call the plays. He can get his legendary status up to the point where Tom Brady's sort of shaking in his boots about losing the GOAT. You take the ball out of the MVP's hands and you kick a field goal and give it to the greatest of all time. The fans were just, that's it. We've had it. We don't want to coach anymore. Give Aaron Rodgers the ability to call his own plays.
Player coach. Yeah. It was bound to happen at some point, especially if you have a guy that says this, Aaron, I know you're good, but maybe not just good enough in the most important time of our particular season. Maybe just not. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the ball out of your hands, and I'm going to give it to the kicker.
Doesn't it sound like one of the most ridiculous things we've ever heard?
Yeah, well, especially when I say it like that. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Oh my God. Yeah, just infuriating. So I started looking on the internet, and I wanted to see what was trending with all this. And Amazon released a tweet, and they said very unusual activity happening. And they said that there was 6 million TVs purchased today in the state of Wisconsin. And I wondered, whoa, how could that be? So I did some investigation, and it was because as soon as Matt Lafleur made that move and they lost the game, 6 million people in the state broke their TVs, and they needed to buy a new one today. They were done. They were so angry that Amazon just made $1 billion today off a TV smash in the state of Wisconsin.
Well, Amazon must be pretty happy. They must be like, man, don't fire that guy. Let him stay on. Jesus, we made a lot of money. But oh man, okay, like we both said, it didn't make any sense. His choice was actually so egregiously obvious. Then it's like, well, why didn't you do that? Like it's you literally didn't have a choice. There was actually no other play than to make that choice. That's it.
Yeah. No other play. And it's really strange that he wouldn't make that choice, because then it takes the onus off of him. It puts it on to Rodgers. If Rodgers doesn't score, he said, well, I put my MVP, I put my top guy, I put him in place. I gave him a chance. He just didn't get it in. The Bucs defense was too good. We just weren't able to score. But now he throws it onto his own shoulders by not going for it and kicking a field goal, giving it back to Tom Brady and giving them a chance to get one first down and finish the game. His logic after saying I had 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning, our defense had played great, but it's not just a normal guy on the other side of the field. It's Tom freaking Brady going for his 10th championship, 10th Super Bowl. It's not a normal person. If it was most any other quarterback, maybe, but oh my God, it was just one of the worst moves I've ever seen in football history. And unfortunately, I'm just kidding that Lafleur got fired today. I really just wish that he did. I'm kidding. He's still the coach, unfortunately, of the Packers, but he's going to go down and have that on his resume for the rest of his life, that he blew that. Just like the Seattle Seahawks blew it, he blew it just as bad in that moment.
First off, you really sold that well. You really did. That was quite nice. That was really good. It was really good. But yeah, he did blow it, man. He blew it. Because like you said, you're giving the ball back to a man that's kind of right now like a fairy tale, folk hero. It's like everything he's done is like, oh, that couldn't have happened. Not one man, not that guy. No, but he gives the ball back to that guy. And then also too, there's a reason why Aaron Rodgers somewhat not happy at the end of the game.
No.
Somewhat displeased. It's like, because in his mind, obviously, he didn't think he had a couple downs left to try to get it done. Like, obviously, they were going to go for it on 4th down. He was a little bit shocked when the kicking unit's coming on. Oh, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, isn't blameless in this whole situation. He was gifted 3 interceptions by Tom Brady. He had an opportunity on that 3rd down play. They were on the 8-yard line. He scrambled out of the pocket. He had already thrown to Devontae a couple of times and hadn't connected. He saw there was daylight on the right side. There was probably not capable. One of the Tampa Bay guys probably couldn't have got to him before he scored that touchdown. He decided to throw it to Devontae again, Devontae Adams, double coverage on the goal line. The ball was knocked away. So he's not 100% blameless on this. He should have been able to run that ball in. I don't know if it would have been because he thought, well, we got fourth down. We got four downs. Hey, maybe I don't get in. Maybe I get hurt. I don't know. But in the heat of the moment, that whole right side was wide open, and he could have, I think, ran it in like he did the week before. He had a fantastic run and scored. So you can't give him, a complete pass, but to just realize, oh my God, we're not going for it on fourth down. I think Aaron Rodgers is really going to consider leaving Green Bay.
I think that's definitely a possibility right now. Or they're going to have to appease Aaron Rodgers, the whole organization as a whole, in a certain way to make sure that he doesn't leave.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's going to take, but yeah, again, I saw the same thing as you. The right side was open. To be honest with you, he was moving that way anyways. I was surprised he just didn't take off and ran. I was kind of surprised he didn't do that, but he chose not to. And I want to say, I think as well, he did pass to Devontae, but I believe Lazard was wide open on that particular play as well, but he missed him. But anyways, regardless, yes, Aaron Rodgers is not out of the realm of blame, but clearly the bulk, 95% of the blame lies on the head coach.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have made that play.
So I see a message on my phone, and it just came across, and it was from Deshaun Watson, and he said, now that you're suggesting that Aaron Rodgers be the coach of Green Bay, how come I can't be the coach of Houston? So interesting. I think these guys, especially when they're the elite level quarterbacks, they should be calling most of their own plays. I don't agree with having all these coaches in their headset and calling it. They're not on the field. They're not seeing the action from on the field. They're not getting a feel for who's good, who's hot, who's not. They're just looking at a sheet and going, oh yeah, call this play, call that play. I've seen so many boneheaded calls in the past few years that just infuriate me. Why can't these elite level quarterbacks be calling their own plays?
Because let's be honest, there was a quarterback that kind of did that. He was the offensive coordinator, retired now, Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
he literally did all of that.
He did.
He was that guy. And also, too, his head coaches trusted him to do that. It's like, well, if Peyton says that's the play, then that's the play we're going to run, right? And to a certain extent, maybe these things should be afforded to your best player. And your quarterbacks are usually your best player, your most intelligent player, the player that's literally the leader on the field at all times.
Yep.
So he should have that responsibility and that ability to do those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I fully agree with you. And, it's just crazy that you get these, elite level talents. Aaron Rodgers is everybody's consensus MVP this season, this regular season, 13-3 records back to back. And just look at the difference in weapons that Aaron Rodgers has compared to what Patrick Mahomes has with the Chiefs, compared to what Tom Brady has with the Bucs. And he still gave them a legitimate shot to be in that Super Bowl. He's got Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, but the rest of the cast is just not the elite level and weaponry that the Mahomes and Brady have.
No, man, it's not even close. Like it really isn't. It's not even close. It's not really a discussion that needs to be had. It's just that Aaron Rodgers is that good to bring up the level of everybody else, right? Yeah. And so if you have a guy that has the ability to bring up the level of an entire team on the offensive side of the ball, and then you say, nah, son, no ball for you. Kicker, get it on in there. Keep that field going. What are you doing, man? Man. Yeah. Horrible.
Okay, you touched on Tom Brady. I know, you're not a fan. It's hard to see him constantly knocking off the teams that we cheer for and breaking the hearts of so many football fans around the nation. This will be the 55th Super Bowl. He'll be in it the 10th time. Almost 20% of the Super Bowls he's appeared in. His legendary status just keeps growing and growing and growing. You mentioned Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl. They should have a video game with Tom Brady. If you're the quarterback, you go to the Super Bowl and you win the game. That's just, it's it that he has to be the greatest of all time and just continuing to elevate that status. Does that show that Bill Belichick was just holding a clipboard, holding his jock strap, and Brady was the one that kept getting them there? Does it really discontinue and discount Belichick's involvement in getting all of these Super Bowls?
I can't say that. You can't say that, right? Because
shoot,
Tampa Bay has only done it the one time, and Bill Belichick did it like a ton. So him and Brady did it a ton. Maybe if Brady is around for a couple more years, which is, let's be honest, kind of highly doubtful, like eventually he's going to have to retire. I would imagine. Yes, I don't know anymore. Yeah, you can't discount that. But even with Brady's performance, it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't particularly Brady-esque. He did have 3 interceptions in the game, but guess what? He didn't have to be perfect because his defense was stellar. Yeah, they had the 3 takeaways on Green Bay side of the ball, but the defense only gave up 6 points. That's as good as it gets.
I definitely want to touch on the defense, but I want to touch on Tom Brady a little bit more. Do you think he can start becoming in the conversation for one of the greatest athletes all time, not just one of the greatest football players of all time, but one of the greatest athletes? We've got, we talk about baseball having like Babe Ruth, and hockey having Wayne Gretzky, and, a lot of the sports having, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Tom Brady now is going for his 10th Super Bowl appearance, 7th championship. He has actually 17 wins after turning 35 in the playoffs, and that's more than any other QB has in his whole career from the age of 20 to 40. Tom Brady, I don't know. Can we start considering him the greatest athlete of all time?
Physical gifts, like obviously he has the arm. His speed is suspect,
to say the least.
But cerebral athlete, definitely, he's right up. Like, yes, you would have to say that just because of the accolades, what he's accomplished, all the things he's done, which is just, as I've said before, it's on a mythical status now. Like where you're just like, it doesn't really make any more sense. Like where you're like, what are you, 43? Like, really? Are you? Like, and you're still tossing it down the field like it's nothing. Like it's, oh man, yeah. Like he just keeps getting it done over and over again, to the point that now fans like me, I'm not a fan, are tired of it. Retire. Just like, go, let's retire. But no, man, he just keeps going and going and going. And so yeah, it's impressive.
I don't think that you have to, when you talk about the best athletes of all time, I don't think you have to necessarily say physical body, because Steph Curry, probably the greatest shooter of all time. And a lot of people talk about his lack of athleticism. His physical body doesn't look intimidating like a LeBron James. Wayne Gretzky, he was never the fastest, never the most accurate shot, never have all these things that you measure a hockey player. Wayne Gretzky didn't have all those, but he's the greatest of all time by far and away. And so, the thing about Brady that blows me away is he just wins. He just knows how to win. Even if he makes mistakes, he goes back onto the sidelines, regroups, and comes back and wins in the clutch, wins when it counts, and is able to take his team farther. And Bruce Arians made a comment after the game that said, what Tom Brady did for the most part for our team was give us belief, was able to give us the belief that we could win this championship and win a Super Bowl because he's there.
Yeah, that's right. Like he does have that belief. He most certainly has that belief in himself. I wonder why. Well, 6 Super Bowls will definitely do that. Definitely give that to you. And so with that belief, that pure belief that he has in himself, and that he can elevate his team and give to the rest of his team, then all of a sudden it's infectious. It begins to just spread like wildfire. Then all of a sudden everybody catches it, and everybody now has this strong belief in themselves that we can get this done. This guy, he's 43, and look at him just balling out there. Like, this is crazy. Yeah, man.
Okay, so I want to point to, I don't know, I think it's maybe 6 TBs that I really want to focus in on after this weekend. Okay, so TB 12, Tom Brady. Tampa Bay, TB. Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator of Tampa Bay. Then we've got Tampa Bay hosting the Super Bowl. This is the first time an NFL team actually gets to play in a Super Bowl that they host. That to me is amazing, and it's probably one of the reasons why Tom wanted to go there. Okay, we've got the Tampa Bay Lightning winning the Stanley Cup. We've got the Tampa Bay Rays going to the World Series and falling short because of another boneheaded coaching move. But I think that's about 6 or 7 Tampa Bays. Are they becoming the city of champions?
Ah, man. Yeah, possibly. Like, especially if Brady manages to figure out the conundrum that is Kansas City. Possibly. You know what? It really depends on what happens in the Super Bowl. That's what I would say.
Yeah. We're what about hosting? It's too bad we're in COVID time. There's going to be, I hear, 22,000 fans there. 7,500 of them are getting tickets because they were frontline workers that have been vaccinated, which you and I talked about a month ago, saying somebody made that suggestion, and they made it a reality, which is really exciting. But it's not really the home field advantage that you're going to get during a regular season or playoffs. But does this give them an advantage?
I think so. I want to say yes. I think it does, because you know what? They've been used to, a lot of the teams have been used to not playing in front of fans for the longest stretch of time. And now finally they get a significant amount of fans, not nearly what they're used to, but at least there's fans in the stands, which will add a little bit of excitement, something else. And the Super Bowl is not supposed to be a home game, but I guess this might be a home game, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think there would be something added to that.
Their practice facility is right beside Raymond James Stadium, where they're going to hold the Super Bowl. They're going to be witnessing over the next 2 weeks them setting it up, them having, getting the stadium ready. They don't have to leave their beds. They get to be there the whole time. They just made an announcement yesterday that Kansas City will not actually arrive until, I think, either the Friday or the Saturday to come in for the Super Bowl. They don't want it for COVID purposes. Usually they come in for the media availability week and all the festivities and all the things going on. But they're not coming in till the day before or 2 days before. I think that's a huge disadvantage for the Chiefs.
You think so, huh? I'm going to be honest. I think that might be kind of somewhat of an advantage.
Wow.
Because with some of the hoopla, it's the distraction that is not really needed for a lot of the players. And a lot of that stuff is just purely nonsensical. You got some weirdness that goes on that they just have to put up with. It really is. Yeah. But now, because of COVID, all of that's been cut out. So now all the guys have to do is just like train, get their work in, get massages in, get ready for the game and just focus on the game and not have to answer ridiculous or extraneous or questions that mean nothing about the game. You're just getting focused on the game. This might actually help KC quite a bit.
I've tried to become a lip reader most of my life, and it's very challenging and difficult. I think you could be really good at it. I noticed that you you have that abilities. But I was watching Mahomes, Kelce, and Tyreek Hill on the sideline after Hardman fumbled the ball and the Bills punched it in, and the Bills were up 9-0. And I think I saw them say, "Yay, we don't have to run the ball anymore." And and so Mahomes was able to launch it to his 2 biggest targets, and both those 2 guys had absolute monster games. It was just so impressive seeing Hill and Kelce all day long.
It was impressive. But you know what was even more impressive to that is just that Patrick Mahomes is just like he's cool as ice. He kind of his demeanor kind of reminds me of Steve Young. Or me, not Steve Young, Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, okay.
He's like Joe Montana in that respect, where he's just like, oh, Hardman fumbled, huh? No, that's not good. They're up by 9, eh? That's not nearly enough to beat me.
We got this.
We got this. And then also, too, then he goes to his buddy Hardman and goes, hey, you want to score a touchdown? You want to score a couple? All right. Let me just give you the ball. And then you're going to be fine after that. We're going to be fine. Don't even worry about nothing. And that's kind of what happened. All of a sudden, Paul Hardman scores a touchdown, has a couple huge plays, and then the floodgates open, literally.
Did they ever?
They are off and running, and the Bills couldn't stop them. They couldn't stop anybody. They're just like, we don't know what to do. What is going on? Yeah.
It was so awesome, just so awesome of a display. Tyreek Hill had 9 catches, 172 yards. Kelce had 13 catches, 118 yards, and 2 TDs. The 13 catches for Kelce, franchise high, and the 172 yards for Hill is a franchise high as well. And it's just absolutely amazing to be able to assemble 3 weapons like that, Mahomes, Hill, and Kelce. I think they're going to be favored, when the betting lines come down and they, decide on who's going to win this game. I think they're favored. Is there any way they can be stopped?
Prayer, maybe, like real prayer, I'm sorry, man. I don't. Okay, so the Bucs defense played well against the Packers, but this offense, that's something else entirely. That's just something that they're going to have to try to contain. Just try to contain it. Try to limit the big plays. Yeah. I think that's about as much as they could ask for. You know what I mean? And then going on the other side of the ball for KC against the Bills, guess who you didn't hear about from the Bills? Stephon Diggs, gone.
Where was he?
They took him completely out. Yeah. The secondary for the Chiefs played exceptionally well with their blitz packaging and everything else, and their man coverage, they manned them up big time. Yeah. And they took out their best receiver. Now, unfortunately, when they play the Bucs, there's a lot of good receivers there. I don't know if they can take them all out, but they've proven that they can shut down some of their best on the opposite side of the ball. Yeah. And that's a big statement right there. It's huge.
Tampa Bay's defense is phenomenal. They were pressuring Rodgers the whole game. They had him on the run. They sacked him 5 times. Even though their safety Winfield was hurt and had to miss the game right from the start, they lost a second safety partway through the game. But their front line, their linebackers, their DBs coming in and pressuring Rodgers was super fantastic. Todd Bowles just had really amazing game plan against the Packers.
Yeah, man. Like his game plan was great. Josh Allen was like he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off at times, man. Like he was having a tough time out there, especially when you had the honey badger bearing down on him every once in a while to disrupt the play and being a disruptive force. And he played very, very well. At the end of the day, though, man, the Chiefs, it doesn't I think Mahomes is literally one of the only quarterbacks that he can just come back from. It doesn't matter how much he's down. He probably prefers that he is down because it makes it kind of exciting for him. Makes him not being bored. They are just such an extreme puzzle to solve because if you try to take away one thing, they got a couple other things that they can go to that will hurt you all the time. And then if you take away everything, then Mahomes will just run and scramble. This is gonna be a very, very tough game for the Bucs defense. Very tough.
Tom Brady, I'm sure he loves getting called the GOAT, and they said that the Super Bowl should be called now the GOAT versus the Kid. if Tom Brady wins this Super Bowl, does anybody else ever have a shot at becoming the GOAT, passing Tom Brady?
If Tom Brady wins this Super Bowl, I'll be very sad. I'll be very sad indeed, because it means that it just means that he's just that incredibly good that, yes, nobody will ever touch it. Nobody will ever come. The person that's going to beat him if he wins 7 Super Bowls would have to win 8. 8. Yeah, that's right. Would it maybe in 100 years? I don't know if that's ever going to happen, man. Come on. That's ridiculous to even think about. It was ridiculous that he even got 5, and ridiculous that it got 6, but 7? Oh, man. Yeah. So, but this is not going to be an easy 7, man, because he has to come up against a guy that could supplant him as the GOAT.
Yeah.
It's GOAT versus potential future GOAT. That's what this is.
So Mahomes is setting all these records. His age, he's appearing in his 2nd straight Super Bowl. He's the 14th I think he's the 15th quarterback to, the 14th defending champion to return to the Super Bowl. And the last person that won was Tom Brady, 2003, 2004. This is Tampa Bay's first time in the Super Bowl since 2003. The crazy thing about Mahomes is just how young he is, how athletic he is, how much power he has in his arm, and how aware he is. Just he just seems to, just have ice in his veins, like you said earlier. He just, takes on a challenge. They didn't blow teams out this year. A lot of times coming from behind. They were actually behind 11 times this year by more than 9 points, and they were 9-2 in those games. And Mahomes missed the last game. So he's actually 25-1 in his last 26 NFL games. So yeah, he's better than Brady in a lot of parameters that we're seeing, except winning those Super Bowls. So yeah, who knows? It's going to take a lot of years to get up to those 6 Super Bowls, possibly 7, appearing 10 times and all that kind of stuff. The thing about the NFL that I find really frustrating and really, really tough is their salary cap really, really hinges and stops a lot of teams from having dynasties. And every single time a team does really well, then the crappy teams, the low-level teams that fire their coach and general manager, start sniffing around the good teams and stealing all their coordinators and all their coaches and trying to get some of the players out of those teams. So you do well, everybody asks for more money, and all your coordinators leave. Now you have to reassemble another team and try to take on the NFL again and again and again. So I don't see Kansas City being able to keep this team together and continuing on, but I hope so, because it's fun to watch. It reminds me of the Rams' greatest show on turf. It's pretty exciting, and it's great football.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's great football. It's exciting. Maybe they figure something out, because Belichick figured it out. Yeah. He did. But the one thing that was always his constant was Tom Brady. Now, the one thing that's always going to be a constant for KC is going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
But I agree with you. I think another constant should definitely be Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce should be along with him for the ride forever. But I don't know if that can be a thing either, right? Yeah. Because those guys are going to be able to command quite the salary whenever their contracts come up. It's going to be tough, obviously. And then you're right, because, those bottom feeders go, and that coordinator on KC is pretty good. They're going to offer him a ton of money. And you know what? Bottom feeding teams, they need to do that because they suck. And they need to find somebody that's good at winning because they have a losing culture. Like, for example, the Jets, whoever goes there, well, I don't know how you fix that. I don't even know how you institute winning in there. I don't even know if they know how to spell the word win.
Yeah.
I don't think they do. So, but yeah, it's a problem, and I get it. And it's really hard to have a dynasty going forward in this league.
If I'm running an NFL team, I'm stepping up, and when I have this type of success with my team, I'm stepping up and I'm saying, Eric Bieniemy, I'm paying you extra $1 million on your salary every year. Their coaches' salaries aren't counting to any towards any type of cap. And Eric Bieniemy has shown that he's one of the most incredible offensive minds in the league. And I'm saying to him, do you really want to go and take over a job with an organization that treats their players terribly, that doesn't know how to win, that really has a lot of problems existing? And your reputation has the ability to take a huge hit. You come in, everybody thinks you're the most brilliant mind in offensive football right now, and you suddenly take over the Jets, and everybody thinks you suck within a year or two. Do you want that? Do you want your coordinators to leave? And as a coordinator, I feel bad. These guys want to finally get a head coaching opportunity, but they have to take over the Jags and the Jets and the Browns and lousy bottom feeding teams time in year after year after year.
They do. But at least they're negotiating their salary, which is like quite substantial. If you want me to take on this horrible organization.
Just on a side note, I hear Adam Gase, the coach of the Jets, is supposedly front runner for the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. So Jamal Adams was asked the other day how he feels, and it was interesting to see what he had to say. He took the fifth kind of and just said, hey, I'm not here to hold any grudges. I can bury the hatchet and all that kind of stuff. But man, I was shocked to hear this news.
He's not very good, right? I'm sorry. Oh. No, man. If I'm any NFL team, I am giving that dude a wide look. I'm not talking to him about anything at all. Not even Talboy. I'm sorry. You're not getting no shot with us, my friend. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
So we've got 2 weeks to go over all the ins and outs of this Super Bowl. I'm excited. I think the NFL got what they would have really wished for. If you would have asked them and said, what would have been the best matchup? The GOAT against the kid, the up and comer. Could they have asked for anything better?
No, because you have all these crazy stories and great narratives about, like you got this young whippersnapper and Patrick Mahomes, and he's going up against the old man that just keeps getting it done year after year after freaking year after freaking year, like after 10 years. So it's great storylines. You have two of the most influential people in the NFL now playing against each other. And especially during this time that we're all in, during this pandemic, you have an extreme amount of excitement now surrounding the Super Bowl. And the NFL could not be happier about that.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic for the league. After this terrible COVID year, and, there's not, definitely going to be losses compared to, the huge juggernaut that the NFL has been for many, many years. There's, the revenues are down, a lot of troubles, but it's the greatest matchup that you really could have asked for if you were writing a Hollywood script and said who should be in the Super Bowl. This is just perfect. It's crazy that out of 55 Super Bowls, there's never been a host team. So that helps Tampa Bay, and it's kind of amazing. I'm shocked at how many things are sort of aligning for them. I do want to chat super briefly on the amount of quarterbacks whose future are in question coming into this offseason. I have a list. It looks like about 15 to 20 guys. This is crazy. And Old Man Rivers just came off the list by retiring. But listen to this list and then make a comment if you can. Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Jimmy Garoppolo, Cam Newton, Teddy Bridgewater, Mitchell Trubisky, Jameis Wilson, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Alex Smith, and Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, and I want to add one more, which is apparently Matt Ryan could be potentially trade bait because Arthur Blank came out and said that.
Wow.
So
Wow.
you have, I think, an unprecedented amount of quarterbacks that could be playing musical chairs here for next year. Like I think this is the most probably we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of the situation we're in, but it's more to do with just the fact that, you know what, teams need to make a change. And sometimes the biggest change, the most effective change can be at quarterback. I some of these guys, some of these teams obviously need to, like Carson Wentz needs to go away somewhere else, clearly.
Yeah.
And so for some of the other question marks, like even for Matt Ryan, good, but is he good enough? He got us to the promised land once, but does it look like we could ever get there again with it? You know, all these are questions that some of these teams need to ask themselves about their current standing with their current quarterbacks. And or if you're in Aaron Rodgers' situation, which is, I don't know if I trust my head coach. Trust may have been broken there.
Yeah.
So that's why he's thinking of maybe moving on himself. So all of these things come into play. It should be a very interesting off season just to see just how many of these guys are show up in different uniforms.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of most coaches. I actually really dislike a lot of coaches in the NFL. There's been quite the carousel recently. It just seems like while I'm watching the NFL Network or one of the sports networks on the ticker, it's just constantly bombarding me with this guy interviewed for this job, and they're thinking of hiring this guy, and this team's going after this guy. But it is just insane the amount of movement in the coaching ranks and looking like the amount of movement in the quarterback ranks. It's going to be one of the most unprecedented off seasons we've ever seen, but we've got 2 weeks to, get ready for this exciting Super Bowl. And I'm sure a lot of information and things as the deck chairs shuffle, we'll be able to break this down probably in our bye week and talk about some of the most impressive performances of the year. But yeah, wow. I can't believe that it turned out this good for the NFL. And I'm happy for them because, it's been a severe down year financially. And, you never like to see any business struggle financially, especially one that we get so much enjoyment of.
No, of course. You never want to see that. But like you said, like we've talked about before, they couldn't have asked for a better result, which is the GOAT versus the kid. And now we go forward with this amazing game that we're looking ahead to. And I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it and see it and be yelling at my TV. Can't wait for it.
Luckily, our COVID restrictions are supposed to be ending on the Friday before the Super Bowl. So let's hope that stays the way it is, and there can actually be gatherings locally here and around the continent, around the world. A lot of people, hopefully, will be watching this game because it has the earmarks of one of the most exciting offensive Super Bowls that we've ever seen. Just the weapons that you and I talked about, man, it'll be so cool to see the battle going back and forth and who can take down the absolute best in the business. So this is going to be incredible. I haven't been this jacked for a Super Bowl in a while.
Yeah, because let's be honest, every time that dude Tom Brady has been in a Super Bowl that he's lost, it was barely lost. Yeah. Barely. It takes everything that you have to beat that guy in the Super Bowl. But KC can do it. They've got the offense, they've got the firepower, and they got the star power. But you know what? Both teams are going to have to bring their A game, and it's going to be an exciting game.
Yeah. Tom Brady starting in his 4th Super Bowl in a 5-season span for the 2nd time in his career. So definitely don't write him off. I wouldn't be putting a huge amount of money on either team. They really both legitimate have a shot at this. And a lot of people picked the Bucs to go this far. The Chiefs were odds-on favorite right from the start, but a lot of people picked the Bucs, and there was some lulls through the year where they thought, oh no, Brady's lost it. No way. He can't do it. But he stepped up in in the time when he had to, and took the Bucs there, and now people, get to question Belichick if he was as good as he always was, which is great because I never was a fan of Belichick. I think he treats the media pretty poor, and so it's maybe nice to see him struggle for once and have to try to assemble another winning team, and Tom Brady's aren't coming around the pipe, Belichick. So they don't know what you're going to do with that organization.
Oh, no, because Tom Brady is not just like, how they say a generational player. He's just a one-time player, once.
Yeah.
Like throughout all of NFL history. One guy.
Never seen a guy like that.
Never
There's only
seen a
one
guy like that, and we may never see a guy like that ever again.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, that was fun to break down the NFL. I want to jump on, talk about the UFC, but first we have to talk about our partners and sponsors. Anchor has been a really fantastic partner and sponsor for Complete Sports Media. They have been fantastic at posting on multiple podcast platforms for us, and they call themselves the easiest place to make a podcast. So just go to Anchor FM and follow the instructions and details, and you might be able to be sitting in a seat just like Jason and I are one day soon. Verbero has been a fantastic partner with us. They are a hockey equipment and apparel company. They are an industry leader in technology, performance, and value. And as always, I want to point out the V350 stick as a can't miss stick. If you're a hockey player, get this in your hands, impress your teammates, impress your buddies, score the goals, get all the accolades, and you'll be happy. You'll be able to send Verbero many checks over the years because they have the best stick in the business. I want to mention Pampas and Possibilities. They design and sell dry florals, floral arrangements, and do installations. They're designers of handmade, curated pretty things with West Coast vibes at reasonable prices. And also our partner, Forever Living. They are the aloe vera company. They grow and manufacture aloe vera-based products for health and beauty. And you just go to CompleteSportsMedia.com. There'll be tons of details there. You can purchase products at reduced rates. And thank you so much to our sponsors as always. I really appreciate the support. NFL, man, Super Bowl matchup for all-time history. This was a fun podcast, man. I really enjoyed myself today.
Yes, it was always fun. We touched on a lot of topics today, and it was fantastic. It was a really, really busy sports weekend.
Yeah. Well, thanks for spending part of your day off with me, and have a great week ahead. I hope it goes really quick for you. I hope you don't have to work out in the weather. I think it's going to be a pretty lousy week weather-wise. So, let's hope you're inside the studio working well. I hope you enjoyed this new show. Are you supposed to start on Wednesday or what day?
Tomorrow.
Oh, no way.
Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, wow. Okay. They're going to be able to have the results from your COVID that quick.
I have no idea about that, but I'm starting them.
Okay. I see. Okay, well, good luck. Enjoy the show. I hope it goes really well. Thanks again for doing this, and I'm sure we'll text it a little bit through the week, and I guess we'll do this again Monday.
You got it, man. Okay, you have a great one.
You too. All the best, man. Cheers. Take care. Cheers. Bye for now. Okay, well, thanks again, as always, everybody, for tuning in to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we talked a lot of subjects, had a lot of laughs. This was one of my favorite episodes of all time. Really great to hear so many of the good takes from Jason, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Man, we went a while. We're going to break this down a little bit. I think we're going to do a UFC portion, an NBA portion, and an NFL portion. So it'll be 3 podcasts coming at you in a short succession. Thanks for all your support, as always. Love you guys lots. And thank you so much for everybody that's given me support and all the people that are working behind the scenes. I want to give a shout out to my friends and family. Thank you so much. Love you lots. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.